Hello, this is Patrick McCary. I'm kind of starting a new thing for me, but it's not really a new thing for many of you who are on YouTube or who are in bicycling or who are into trying to get fit. For several years, I had gotten away from cycling just due to family, due to health reasons. I'd quit riding. Several years back, around 2010, I wound up with a massive internal infection in my spine. And I tried a few years later to get back on a bike, and due to the actual bouncing of the bike, the neurologist said, "Hey, this is a bad idea. Don't do it." And so I listened to the neurologist, and I just kind of let the situation get out of control. Over the years, I've gained quite a bit of weight, but I never lost the love for riding. And so in January of this year, I made a decision to start riding again. And I would only stop if the riding started giving problems physically to me. Well, since January, I've gotten from riding from 2 miles to 15 to 20 miles at this point at a time. I'm not a physically fit cyclist by any stretch. But honestly, I want to become one. Years and years ago, in my late teens and early 20s, a 50 to 80 mile, even a 100 mile bike ride wasn't out of the question. And I've recently challenged myself, and this is where the YouTube's going to come in. I've challenged myself to get fit enough that for my 41st birthday in October to complete a century. That's a 100 mile bike ride if you've never done one. Now, I have 2 bikes at my disposal, and I know many of you who are beginning to get into shape don't have that. The first bike I bought off of a Facebook Marketplace, it was a Specialized Crossroads Hybrid, mid-90s model that I found from someone who bought it out of a storage auction. I paid $50 for it. New chain, new rear tire, new inner tube, cleaned it up, lubed it, did some adjustments, put it on the road. And then, as I started riding and I decided I want to get back on a road bike. I know road bikes and they are fun. They're actually built for the type of riding that I love to do. But I also remember from my years earlier, I rode hard on Cannondales and Klein Quantums. All aluminum, super stiff road bikes, awesome behavior. Unless you're out of shape, physically unfit, middle-aged man. That aluminum just doesn't sound fun anymore. Yet I knew there was an option out there that wasn't being sold in the bike shops that often, but I knew it was a great option for me, and that was to go back to a steel frame. Yes, it's a few pounds heavier overall on the bike, but I can account for that few pounds faster by losing it off my stomach than I ever could off a bicycle. And so in February, I found this bike. Well, what would become this bike? This is a 1993 Giant Alegre that has had a tad bit of work done. And when I say a tad bit, I mean a lot. I started off with a frame and a fork, and that frame had been wrecked. It had been wrecked hard. It had been bent, and it wasn't built for the new style components. I thought about running older school components, but, I happened to find another bike, a 2008 Bianchi. The guy was a commuter. Someone pulled out in front of him. It destroyed the frame. But the components were mostly good. So let me show you the drive side. This is the bike now. I'm running microshift shifters on it. I'm running all 105 and Ultegra components down low. I'm running Alex rims. This is a 2x10 setup on a 1993 Giant Alegre frame. The frame has been straightened. It has been reset to 130 millimeter. Now, if you're beginning, I don't expect y'all to know this, but those of you who are hardcore cyclists, y'all probably going, oh yeah, I understand all that. Oh, that frame might be junky. And guys, it might be. But this is where we begin when money is limited. This bike I've got a few $100s in, and I know you could go on Facebook Marketplace and find a good road bike for a few $100. I get that. But you don't find many steel framed 2x10 drivetrains for a few $100s. Not with the updated components. You either find an older steel bike in good shape or a modern aluminum or carbon bike in well-used shape. And so I set out to build one. I used to work on all my bikes I rode. It's been a fun trip, but this is where we began. Today is where we begin this journey for the century, this journey for the 100-mile ride. To be honest, I've been on the bike already. I've got about 38, 40 miles put on this bike. I've had to make a few adjustments. I had to make some adjustments to the head stem, seat post. I've actually got a new seat post coming because if you look close, you'll see some things that aren't done quite kosher. Same way on the front derailleur. If you're a hardcore cyclist, you'll wonder why the tape is up and above and below the derailleur. It's because it is shimmed. It is not easy to find a derailleur, a clamp-on used derailleur for a steel frame bike that's a new style 105 derailleur. You just don't find it unless you order it. I haven't happened to order one yet. So far, it's held well. We'll see. That's about it for the bike. As far as me, I'm Patrick McCary. I'm 40 years old. Current weight's 256 pounds. I started this journey at 281 pounds, so yes, I've already been on the journey a little while. Current average distance on a bike is 10 to 15 miles a day I can do up to a 20-mile ride at one time. The goal is by October of 2019 to ride my first century in some 15 plus years. Guys, I need your comments below. I need your thumbs up. I need your encouragement. This is not going to be the last time you see me. Hopefully every time you see me, we're getting better. We're getting a little bit better shape. But also, hopefully this is an encouragement to all of you guys who are out of shape to get back on a bike, to even get out and just start walking. Guys, we can't allow inactivity to kill us, and I'm convinced of that right now. So I'm going to sign off here. I'm fixing to head out. I'm probably going to do about 15 plus miles today. Tonight I have a Facebook Live with the church I work with, the Southside Church of Christ. A live discussion, so I've got to get in, ride, get back, shower, and get ready for that. Thank you.